Welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast. Here is Munir Lazouzi from easymedicaldevice.com, and today we'll do the May 2024 regulatory update. First, let's have a talk about our sponsor, who is MedBoard. So who is MedBoard?
MedBoard, the regulatory research and intelligence platform, is focused on solving the problem with increasing news and data and new requirements, as regulatory intelligence, post-market surveillance, clinical literature review, and many more. We are making trusted medtech information and data more accessible, creating the largest information portal search and the best tools for review, intelligence, and portfolio management. We are already changing people's lives like you by reducing tedious manual and repetitive work or saving much time. Contact us at medboard.com to learn more about us and do a free trial.
Okay, so today, as I said, we'll do the May 2024 regulatory update, and I decided just for today, just to make it in the other way. So normally you have it in the mode of a journal or something like that. So let's make it more relaxed today. So the idea of today is to look at all the updates that happens in April and what will happen also in May, and then maybe also to get some of your comments on the video about those elements. First, what I wanted to talk about is the notified bodies. So surprisingly, we have had two notified bodies that were appointed in April. So the first one is TÜV Sud Denmark, from TÜV Sud that opened an office in Denmark, which is interesting mainly because we have had already TÜV Sud in Germany, and my question is mainly why opening a TÜV Sud in Denmark. Usually what notified bodies are doing is that they are opening offices in different regions, but I'm interested to understand if this is TÜV Sud Denmark is affiliated to TÜV Sud Germany, and mainly if there is a specific reason to open two different notified bodies. We'll be interested to listen to maybe your comments if you have any of those, and to teach me maybe something that can be interesting to understand, because I know that I discussed with Kiwa, for example, and they had also different offices with Kiwa, Seramed, Kiwa, Italy, etc. But I don't know mainly if there is a specific reason or if this helps on something, and this can be interesting to understand also. So this is one, TÜV Sud Denmark, so congratulations. And the second one, which is great, is AFNOR. So AFNOR is a French notified body, which is great. Why? Because it's the second French notified body. So historically, France had only one notified body, which was GMED. So each time a French company wanted to French notified body, so they had to go through GMED. Now there is another one, which is AFNOR, which is great. So congratulations to AFNOR. I knew that we're discussing with them a long time ago. They said that they were in preparation for that, but they didn't know exactly when it would happen. So yeah, the journey was long, but they made it. So congratulations also to AFNOR, and I hope this will be helpful also for all the French-speaking company, because mainly this is the reason to choose the French companies, mainly because first it's in France, so it's easy to access, and also it speaks French. So maybe for looking at some documentation that are only in French, because French are liking French. So yeah, it's great to have a second notified body for that. So yeah, congratulations, and I wish that maybe there are more notified bodies in France, because like in Germany you have a lot, or in other countries you have a lot. So yeah, it would be great to have also more in France. Okay, next topic is guidance, MDCG. So we have two guidances this time. So the first is MDCG 2024-4, which is the safety reporting in performance studies in vitro diagnostic. So mainly we have the same kind of things within the MDR. So here it's IVDR. So under MDR, if you do a clinical study, and during the clinical study there are some issues, so then you have to issue vigilance reporting or something to inform what happened mainly. So here it's the same. You have to issue for in vitro diagnostic performance study vigilance reporting, and inform mainly about the situation. when you look at this, it looks like it's an emergency, but you say, but it's in vitro, so it's like just on laboratory testing, etc. So where is the emergency, if I can say? But here we could talk also about interventional studies when, because of some testing you have done in vitro, you have maybe executed a surgery, or you have taken some samples, not leftovers, but fresh samples, etc. So you are making some kind of human intervention also. So it's not like you are just manipulating some solutions. You are really using some specimens of people, some organs or some cells or whatever. So this can also lead to some major issues. So it's why, yeah, having this for in vitro diagnostic is also really important. So you have the MDCG guidance, and attached to it you have also the form that is asked to be used for making this vigilance reporting. Next guidance is the MDCG 2024-5, which is the investigator's brochure for clinical investigation. So normally when you do clinical investigation, you are following the standard ISO 14155, and normally inside everything is written. So here they are adding also an information about the investigator's brochure that they are expecting to see for Europe, which I think normally is the same for every other country, but I haven't made a full investigation of what are the differences between what is written here on this guidance and what is written on the 14155. But I think it's a great help also to get some clarification maybe about what should be the content, what are the chapters, etc. There is really like a template inside, so you can see also what are the different elements, and you have also a checklist that is attached to it, where you can see mainly if you have everything or if you miss some elements. So this can be a good elements to look at if you are doing a clinical investigation actually, and if you need to build this investigator's brochure, so you then have this model existing already. Next is a survey. So when I first looked at this title of survey on Article 17, I said, oh great, it's a survey about reprocessing of single-use devices. So if you remember, the EU MDR had an article saying that mainly it authorizes the competent authorities to allow health institutions or to reuse single-use devices. So mainly this is the idea, like a manufacturer, like a medical device manufacturer says my device is single-use only, then they place it on the market, and the competent authorities can say no, it's not single-use only, you can have multiple use while you are doing some investigation maybe on this multiple use, but you can do that. So this was the announcement. Now we have a survey after a few months or years of having this article in place, so Article 17. And the survey is interesting, to be honest. It's like great to hear. First, interesting to see that different countries have different rules. So some countries says yes, you can reprocess single-use devices, and some countries says no. So you have 17 out of the 30 countries in the European Union that are under EU MDR that are saying what they are saying. Austria, they are saying no. 17 out of the 30 says no, we cannot reprocess single-use devices, which is great. And then you have the others that are authorizing that. So it means that mainly they are saying, yes, you can do that under condition that you have made some verification of the feasibility of it. So, for example, the countries that are not authorizing that are Austria, Bulgaria, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Estonia, Finland, France, Greece, Hungary, Italy, Latvia, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Malta, Norway, Romania, and Slovakia. And the ones that are authorizing are like Spain, Germany, Belgium, Netherlands, Poland, Ireland, Iceland, Sweden, Hungary. Is Hungary also? No, it's not Hungary. HR. What is HR? Maybe something like that. So those countries are authorizing the reuse, reprocessing of single-use devices. And now when you look at the report, the results of that, you find first that you have some manufacturers called on the report, and initially I thought manufacturers would be like the ones that are manufacturing the devices. No, manufacturers on this report means the companies that are reprocessing those devices. And what is funny is that those manufacturers need to also to have, because they are reprocessing, so they need also to have kind of a certification from notified bodies, and they had some difficulties to find notified bodies that can certify them. So mainly they are acting actually without certification, which is a bit strange. And you have notified bodies that are complaining on how to certify this kind of thing. And you have also some health institutions that are saying that normally they have to monitor the use of those kind of devices, and they cannot monitor that, which means what? It means that normally when you do a surgery, you have to identify which devices were used and maybe if this is a reprocessed device. And they say, I cannot do that. So actually, if you have an issue on some patients, there is no link to say, oh, if this issue is coming from the fact that it was a reprocessing device that was used and maybe there are some infection or whatever. There is no way to monitor that. Maybe some are able, but for example, Denmark on the report says, no, we cannot do that. So this is really an interesting report to read and to understand. If you are a manufacturer of a single-use device and that you are trying to sell in some countries, you will see that some countries accept this your assessment that is a single use and some not. And there you can see the consequences that you can maybe you as a manufacturer of medical devices see and complaints reserved due to the fact that it's reprocessed. So check this, and I think it will be an interesting read for you. Okay, Team NB has an initiative called ESMINT, the ESMINT initiative. So ESMINT means European Society of Minimally Invasive Neurological Therapy, which calls for experts in neurointervention. So the objective of that, and the objective of that to making it with Team NB, is the fact that they need this expert for notified bodies. Why? To make investigation on devices that are used in neurointervention. So I suppose that when you are a manufacturer of neurointervention devices, minimally invasive devices for neural system, so mainly you need an expert within your notified body to understand your device and then to certify your device. And here the thing that is mentioned is like we don't have enough and we call for experts. So look at this, and if you are an expert in this area, you can then maybe help notified bodies to gather information about such a type of to certify such type of devices. Okay, now Spain. So the AEMPS, is that AEMPS? Yeah, the Spanish authority issued a bulletin on health products from January to March 2024. And when I read it, I said, oh, they are doing my job. They are doing the regulatory update of the thing, because they mentioned all the MDCG guidance that were issued, etc. But there is a specific section on it which is interesting to read, which is about some issues that are happening on the market. For example, they are talking, I will not mention brand names, but they mention specifically the brand names. They are talking about some alerts on some drug delivery pumps interacting with MRI. So as soon as they interact with the MRI, they put themselves in default mode or whatever, and then they are not delivering the drug anymore, which is not good. There are also some alert on a defibrillator, which normally should shock you when you have to be shocked, that turns off unexpectedly when trying to deliver a shock. So this is strange for thing, because the internal purpose is meant to deliver a shock. So if when I want to deliver a shock, it's not delivering the shock, it's like great. But normally those should be tested during the design and development and during the everything. So just look and read and understand if there is any maybe things I missed here. They talk also about some discontinuations on the market, some voluntary discontinuation from products, and some, what is great, also some false CE marking certificate. And what is great is that they are mentioning the name of the companies that are issuing some false CE marking certificates. So you remember also that when EUDA Med will be fully active, if I can say, I don't know when. I mean, I know when because it's written, but they always change the date. Normally, it's not possible anymore to have a CE certificate that is false, because you can verify directly the CE certificate on the EUDA Med database. So normally it's not possible, but actually it's still existing. You still have some companies that are maybe faking some CE certificate to be able to sell their device on the market. So be careful of that, and read this bulletin from the AEMPS, because it's really interesting read to just understand the situation in the country. Okay, now you have always, I got always this question, what is the classification of my device? Is it class 1, 2A, 2B, 3, etc., etc.? And we have always some debate, no, yes, etc., etc. So here we have Germany that is now offering the service of qualifying or classifying your medical device. So the BfArM is publishing a page where they say we can do that. You just have to provide this information, and here is the address you pull your application, and we can help you to delimitate or classify your device if it's obvious. So delimitate means give you a direction where maybe to look at. So it could be interesting. So if you have a problem to classify your medical device, use a consultant like us. Well, we try sometimes to classify medical devices if we can, but you can use also some authorities like BfArM. And I think we have made also an announcement previously about Ireland, if I remember, maybe Ireland. That was also doing this kind of thing, HPRA that was also doing this kind of thing. But yeah, there are some authorities that are also helping you to classify your device. And it's important to classify correctly your device, because if you arrive to a notified body and you say you are class 2A when you are class 2B, maybe there will be some conflicts first, and second, they can delay then your certification also, and maybe you need to have more documentation, etc., etc. If from class 2A to B, maybe not too much, because mainly unless you have a device that is delivering some administering or removing some drugs from the body, I don't think you have so much differences. But yeah, the classification of a device can issue some additional documentation and testing for you. So be prepared and don't wait. No, if you have a doubt, if I can say, have a consultant to check that, or go to those kind of agencies that will accept to make this help for you. So BfArM is one of them. Okay, Switzerland now. Switzerland is issuing an information sheet on software as medical devices, so SAMD. So they are mainly mentioning what is a software as medical device, how to certify that. And this is interesting because it tells you also how to act. When I say act, is mainly about the economic operators with the software as medical device, because you know that it's not physical. Sometimes you download it from a server, etc. So how are you doing that? Do you need an importer? Do you need an authorized representative? It's virtual, it's like passing in the air, so it's like, do I need all those things here? So yeah, this is the idea mainly of this information sheet, to give you some help on understanding what is an SAMD and how you can comply to the software as medical device rule in Switzerland, which is nearly the same as Europe, but there are the issue is mainly that is about the economic operators and the rules to place the device on the market, etc., etc. So this is something that can be important for you. So if you are selling a software as a medical device in Switzerland, this information sheet is for you. Okay, now Turkey. So Turkey is great, because last time we also made that. They again remind you that, guys, if your device is not compliant to the new rules for extension of the transition period for under EU MDR, by the 26th of May 2024, you cannot sell anymore these devices in Turkey. So it's obvious for all the European Union, but I don't hear this message too much actually in the European sphere, but a lot of this is coming from Turkey, each time announcing on their page, remember this day, 26th of May 2024. Now it's like, guys, if by the 26th of May 2024 your product is not compliant anymore to the new rules, then you cannot sell that anymore, stop it, etc. So it's great. So thanks for Turkey for that, and here is the reminder on the show notes. You can go and click and find out. So I'm not talking Turkish at all. So I'm just having my browser that translates directly the page. So I just click on translate and it translates everything and I read everything. So do the same, go and translate, and then you can see what is the content of this page. Okay, now we'll talk about articles to read, and one magazine or one publication that is really interesting to read is the European Medical Writers Association journal, which is mainly an association for medical writers. So, and And I read it sometime because it's interesting to understand how medical writers, what are the advices or the issues of medical writers sometime for creation of clinical evaluation report or post-marketing surveillance or whatever. And here they talk specifically about translations. And there are a lot of articles about translation in any way, like translation for the layman person, etc. And here they talk about also quality assurance in medical translations, which is great because if you are looking, for example, for Article 16 of the EU MDR, an importer or distributor can translate information received from a manufacturer located, for example, in China, and they provide you only the documents in Chinese. So if you are selling this device in Germany, then mainly you have to provide the documentation in German. Otherwise, nobody will understand what it is for. So here, a manufacturer or an importer or distributor can do that, but mainly does he have the rights, or does he have the rules, or does he have the standards or the certification to do this kind of thing? Does he have a quality system procedure that can talk about that? So this is mainly what it's talking about. Is the fact that if you are doing translations, you have to have a process in place. It's not just calling your colleagues, say, oh, do you speak German, or do you speak Chinese and German? Can you make the translation from Chinese to German, and you do that quickly? No, you have to have a process, like a double check, like maybe a certification company that is certified for doing translation and have a quality system for doing that, approves with the native language people, etc., etc. So this is something that is important. So here, this is an article talking specifically about quality assurance in translation. So I will let you read it and understand, but yeah, this is free, so it's not like you have to buy anything. There is a link there, and you click on it, and there is all those other articles about that. And this is really a great website to visit sometime, just to see what are the actual tendency, if I can say, in the medical writing world. Okay, now let's talk about training. So first, we have the Green Belt Certification Program training on EU MDR. So edition 31st. So wow, we are having 31st time this training now since 2021. Oh no, before even 2021. I think I started in 2019 maybe. Then this 31st edition in May then will happen between May 27th and May 31st. I put 21st, but no, it's 31st. So you can go to the show notes and you can click on it and you'll find out. So we have a 5 days training, and the 6th day is the exam. So 5-day training where we talk about all the EU MDR with the updates and everything. I give you also a lot of quiz assignments. We have a live session of 1 hour and a half every day, and the rest is self-paced. So we are doing just one session of the day that is live. And if you are not able to join, we are also recording that, so you can see that later. So it's not a problem at all. So Green Belt Certification Program. Just go to the show notes and just click, and you find all the curricula, all the everything, all the information there. And if you have any question, just send me an email at info@easymedicaldevice.com, info@easymedicaldevice.com. Okay, then in training we have Malaysia that is issuing a calendar for 2024 of all their training, and there are trainings about post-marketing surveillance or about preparation of the documentation to submit to the Malaysia authority or biomedical technical activities, etc. So go and check what are the trainings that are maybe interesting for you if you are located in Malaysia, I suppose. But yeah, it's a great list that can be helping a lot of people to understand more about the requirements for medical devices in Malaysia. And last training is the Team NB. So they are issuing this training more frequently, which is the IVDR technical documentation training. So how to write a technical documentation for your in vitro diagnostic product. They have issued also before the MDR. I mean, they are alternating first MDR training on technical documentation, then IVDR, then MDR, then IVDR, etc. So this one will happen in July 3rd, 2024. So you still have time to register. So yeah, if you need to create a technical documentation for your in vitro diagnostic, what best than the Team NB, Team Notified Body, to help you on learning how to do that. Okay, now talking about events. So I just remind you that we created a website called medtechconf.com, so medtechconf.com, where we try to list all the conferences and events that are happening. It's not complete because we are doing that one by one and trying to find the conferences one by one, which takes some time. So it's why we ask you if you can help us on that, or sending us an email at info@easymedicaldevice.com, and then we can fill directly the website with your conference, or you can go to the website and there is a link where you can just click and you can add your conference in a Google form, and then we can add that directly to the website. So actually the conferences that are in place, the 10X conference in Newport Beach, California on May 1st. So it's a great conference on medical devices, 10X medical device. So Joe Hag is the one that is organizing that. So he's organizing that every year. So don't miss this one. I mean, I suppose, because I think this episode will maybe go or May 1st or May 2nd. So maybe this one will be missed already, but I hope you enjoyed if you went there already. So the second is the RAPS, Euro Convergence Conference in Berlin on May 6th. So it's a big event that will have everybody from the regulatory field that are coming. I tried to go, but I had another event at the same moment, so I had to travel at the same moment. So yeah, I had to pass this time. Next one is the Morocco International Healthcare Fair in May 23rd. So it's a great fair where all the region will have everybody from the healthcare industry that are coming there. And Easy Medical Device in association with 4 Better Devices. So we are trying to organize a conference which is called AI Act Summit. So mainly it's talking about the actual situation with the AI Act, to learn more about it and to learn more about what are the consequences of the AI Act for the medical device industry. So it will happen in September 26th in Strasbourg. We are still organizing the planning, so it's why we don't have a full disclosure of everything. So we are still talking with some speakers. If you have some specific topics you want to see on this kind of conference, so don't hesitate, share that with me. And we'll try to propose that to some speakers and see if this is fine for them. We had some great topics already that we try to organize. So yeah, it's something, it's new for us to organize events like that. So it's why it can take a bit of time. But yeah, we'll try to disclose everything before the end of this quarter. And then you can, I hope, join us and come to Strasbourg in France to learn more about AI Act. Okay, now the rest of the world. So we talk about first South Korea. You remember before we talked about the Spanish that said that they have some issues with some C certificates, some false C certificates. So here, South Korea, they are issuing a website to verify the authenticity of some certificates issued by the MDFS, so the Ministry of Food and Drug Safety in South Korea. So it's the same. I think they maybe had a lot of issues with their certificate, or even maybe some certificates that are issued with the MDFS that were sent to some authorities maybe, or to some manufacturers in the other regions, and that maybe it's difficult for them to verify the authenticity of the certificate because it's written in Korean. And here you can then put the certificate number and see if this is a true certificate or not. So go to the show notes and you'll find out the link, and then you can just, if you have a certificate, test it and just verify if it's an authentic certificate also. Again, South Korea, they have issued a guidance, or I don't know if it's a guidance, because they call it a method. So the IVD method, they call it. It's a translation from my browser that says IVD method, which tells mainly how you can register in vitro diagnostic products in South Korea. What are the rules? What are the classification? How to do all those kind of things for verification, safety, etc. So this is mainly the IVDR specifically for South Korea. So if you are trying to sell your in vitro diagnostic in South Korea, this is mainly how you should process to register your device. Again, South Korea, about UDI. So they are explaining also the use of the UDI in South Korea. And you see it's nearly the same as what US and Europe is doing, with some differences. So they are using the same agencies, so GS1, HIBCC, ICCBBA. But in Europe, they are also using IFA, which I don't know why, because IFA is only for Europe and not for the rest of the world. And then you have also no basic UDI like we have in Europe. I mean, they are really following what US is doing, not what Europe is doing. So Europe has a lot of differences there. I mean, not a lot of differences. Additional requirements, which is different because you can use exactly the UDI created in South Korea for Europe, which is not a problem. It's just that there are some additional requirements for Europe if you are placing your device in Europe. So here, yeah, you have the guidance on how to use the UDI in South Korea. Okay, now Mexico, they are drafting a Mexican official standards on labeling of medical devices. So I say, oh, but we have an ISO standard for that. So ISO 15223-1, which is the ISO for symbols on labeling of medical devices. So here, yeah, they are really talking about labeling and everything. And what I was curious is to see if they are also mentioning the symbols that should be used. And yes, there is a place where they talk about symbols. And at a certain point, I arrived to some symbols and it was not written sterile, but I sterile, I think maybe in Mexican. So I say, oh, but does it mean that all our devices should be then the symbol should be changed from English to Spanish? And the answer is no. I mean, because what they do is that each time there is a symbol where there is something written, they authorize to have the symbol with the Spanish language, but they also authorize the English language. So they are really copying what is on the 15223-1. It's just that they're adding the symbols with the Spanish language if you want. But yeah, if you are coming from outside of Mexico and you are trying to sell all over the world, I don't think you will be just specifically for Mexico creating a specific label with a specific symbol with the Spanish, because you can use the English one. So it's great. But just check that. It's interesting to have this kind of standards and see how they will be acting. But yeah, it's look at that. And if I remember, there are also some symbols that I have never seen before, just below the official ones. Can't remember which one was, but yeah, just check. There are some symbols that I find a bit funny sometimes. Say, oh, really? I mean, if you look at the symbol and you think, without looking at what is written behind the symbol, just look at the symbol and say to me what it should mean, and then read what it means and say, oh, really? It means that? Great. So yeah, just make this game between you and me. Okay, next is Australia is issuing a consultation on the availability of instruction for use in a more flexible format. So what does it mean? So more flexible format means electronic format. So actually, if you look at the electronic instruction for use, you need it for specific products and specific purpose per the EU legislation, but also per the Australian legislation. Now they are asking, should we be more flexible on that? Should we maybe authorize electronic instruction for use for more products or for more indications, like for healthcare professionals instead of layman person, etc. So this is a consultation, so read it, and you can answer to this consultation or provide your feedback until the 28th of May 2024. Okay, now podcast nostalgia. So we'll go through the previous podcast that we released. So the first one is episode 279, radiation sterilization master file with Adam Isaac. So we talked mainly about how to present the sterilization master file to a notified body, and we talk specifically about radiation, but it can be also applicable to some other type of sterilization. I had prepared the template of the radiation sterilization master file that Adam Isaac provided to me. I still hadn't time to process it, but I'll try to process it as quick as possible so that I can provide to you. So it will be, go to the episode and maybe you will find a link about a template on how to write your sterilization master file. Just my fault. I have so many things that, yeah, I need to do that. And even Adam is saying, "Oh, have you done it? Have you done it?" No, I haven't done it. So let's work on it now. Okay, next episode 280. What is the impact of AI Act on medical devices? So we talked with Eric Volbrecht about the publication that will happen soon about the AI Act and the consequences to maybe the medical device community. So we see, and if you listen to this episode, you will see that there are still some unknown. How they will do on this, how they will do on that, etc., etc. So it's something that is, has to be understood. For example, notified bodies. Should I use another notified body, or my notified body will be qualified to act on AI Act also, or should I choose a notified body that is both AI Act and MDR, or can I choose both? I mean, it's like a lot. So check this episode if you want to see the problematic of having this AI Act. But yeah, it's an interesting episode with Eric Volbrecht. Next one, episode 281, why and how to build a quality culture. So we talked with Leslie Worthington about how to do that. So she has some workshops on doing these kind of things. But the idea here was to say, why do I need a quality culture and how can I build that? Why, meaning, is it really worth it? What it will help me to do? So mainly we try to answer those questions. So my advice is, yes, you should have a quality culture to avoid many problems in the future and to have mainly some support from also your team and not be the only one trying to make things great things. So, but the idea here is to not try to build it alone, is to really try to involve all your company on this quality culture. Otherwise, it will not work at all. So this is mainly the idea. Okay, so it was great to show you all those episodes. So don't hesitate to go to podcast.easymedicaldevice.com to see all the episodes that we have that we have made on Easy Medical Device. You can also go to Spotify, we have our channel there, or you can go to YouTube and you'll find also those podcasts, not in audio only, but also in video, and then you can maybe look at us talking about those topics. Okay, it was a pleasure to have this episode with you, this new format of episode. I mean, new, I don't know, maybe I'll come back to the previous format before. So thanks again for watching. And if you need any help for your quality and regulatory affairs projects, if you need an authorized representative, if you need an importer, if you need a EQMS, all those things, we can help you at Easy Medical Device. So contact us at info@easymedicaldevice.com, because we are not doing just podcasts and videos. We are really a consulting firm helping a lot of manufacturers with clinical evaluation, performance evaluation, audits. Actually, we are doing a lot of supplier audits also all over the world with our team. So we do a lot of activities like that. So don't hesitate to consult us if you have any projects, and then I hope we can help you on that. Or if we cannot, we will find somebody to help you. So no worry about that. Okay, it was really a pleasure. Thank you very much, and I wish you a nice day.